Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Inside of This Is Mine. Today, I have to admit that I'm not in the best mood, and kind of and blah, blah. And that's one of the reasons why I'm making this episode. There's something that's been in my mind for a couple of days now, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start. I want to give you. I'm going to give you a bit of context so you understand why I'm filming this episode and why are we talking about this today? And that is taking care of your close ones and your loved ones, your friends, your family, mainly. Where do I start? That's a good question because I feel like there's a lot of things I want to say, yet I don't know where to start. And you're going to say, just start from the beginning. But where exactly is the beginning? What exactly is the beginning? I don't have much contact when it comes to my family and when it comes to especially my parents. I barely talk to them. I call them maybe like once every 6 months. And the reason being, it's because I know as much as I love my parents, I know they aren't the only ones that they can make me lose my stability. If I let them in, I know I can lose all control, and I don't want that. Being apart and living abroad from my parents has taught me the most important lesson that I could have learned, and that is putting myself first. That is being selfish. That is taking care of myself first. And I am my own priority. Why am I saying this? Because as much as I want to know about my parents and I think I should call them because I want to know about them, I want to know if they're okay. I just want to know about them. I don't want them to know about me. Because the moment I let them in, the moment I tell them about little things about my life, whether what I'm doing, how am I doing, anything that has to do with my personal and private life, all these like little triggers are going to start coming up, and I don't want that. And then I can't think clearly. However, even though as much as I don't want I don't want to let in my parents into my world and my personal life, I was thinking, you have to call them, Tizzy. You have to call them. Because at the end of the day, they're the only parents that I have, you know? And I should be grateful that I have both of my parents alive still, that both of them are still alive and they're still here. And even though they haven't been the best parents growing up, they're still my parents, okay? And they're still my parents. They're still here, and they're the only ones that I have. And now that I'm older and I'm an adult, I am mature enough to forgive them, to put everything outside and say, I understand why my childhood was the way it was. I forgive you. I still care about you, although I don't want you close to me. I don't want you in my world. However, what I was trying to say before was, because they're the only parents that I have, and even though I don't have the best relationship with them, I still have to take care of them. I was kind of reflecting last night about my childhood and how many things could have been different if my parents would have taken different decisions at the time. And well, it was just a big chaotic, I don't even know how to call it, like what happened last night. But I needed that, I needed to do some inner work and some introspection, because it made me come to the conclusion that I need to, even though I don't have the best relationship with them, even though I don't have the closest relationship with them, I have to call them and I have to keep checking on them. I have to keep making sure they're okay. Okay? Because I'm trying to connect the dots in here. Like, I know what I want to say, but I want this to make sense. Like, I want you to understand why I'm going to where I'm going. But not even myself. I don't know how to get there. Like, I know what I want to say, I just don't know how to get there straight away. That's the interesting thing, and that's at the same time I think one of the interesting things about the brain. Like, if you think about it, the way our thoughts work, or at least the way my thoughts work and my mind work, it's not a straight line. Like it's hard for me to get to a point straight away. Like it's like this. It's like a maze. It's like a doodle. Like, and I know eventually, the more I think, and I process my ideas, I will eventually get out of the maze. But right now, I'm like starting, and I am entering this mental maze. But I know exactly where I want to go and what I want to say. I'm just figuring out how to get there. Okay. Oh, what I concluded last night was that, okay, even though I didn't have the best childhood, even though they could have done better things, even though all that, my parents are getting older, okay? My parents are aging. My parents, their time is not coming back. They've done what they've done. They have made their mistakes. They have made their decisions, and their time is not coming back. Okay, sitting here and thinking about the things that could have been different. The only way that it helps me is by making me aware of the things that I don't want to do and how I don't want to take the same steps that they did, and how I can learn from their mistakes. But for now, it doesn't matter how chaotic my family is and how many problems my parents have. We are our own little family. We're a family of 3: my mom, my dad, and me. We are like it has always been the 3 of us. Okay. So I know in a way they need me. They need their daughter to tell them, you're not alone. Your daughter still cares about you. Even though, I'm a grown-up adult now. Well, grown-up adult. I'm still trying to figure out life, this thing that we call life, and I'm still trying to get there. I'm still chasing my dreams and leave this reality that we created, we call life. But even though I don't have all the answers yet to my life, I know that there's gonna be a day that my parents are not gonna be here anymore. And that sounds, like I said before, my parents are aging. They're not 20 anymore. They're not 30 anymore. They're not in the 40s anymore. They're in the late 50s. They're gonna turn 60s, and I fear, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I fear that something happens to them anytime soon, because they're getting closer to that age. And you might say, look, this is 60s. When you're in your 60s, like, you're still somewhat young, and well, not young, but you're still somewhat healthy, but like relatively, I don't know how to say this word. Relatively, I can say it. I can say it. They're still relatively healthy, Well, not really, because I know my parents past, they have been through so many things. They don't take care of their diet. They don't take care of their body. And that's where my fear comes from. I fear that because they have never taken care of themselves, they have always left to work, because that's what my parents do. They have always left to work. They have never worked to live and have a life, which that's another one of my worries and my concerns, but that's another point. That's out of the point. And because I know that they don't take care of themselves, they don't care about themselves, I fear that something happens to them. And most importantly, I fear that because I don't stay in contact with them, and something happens to them, I have this pressure, this deep thought that I don't want them to, let's say, leave this world not knowing that, even though I didn't have the best childhood, I don't want them to not know that I still care about them. I don't want them to not know that I love them, Doesn't matter how, well, see, I'm getting deep into this, but because you see, it's already like triggering something inside of me, because it's a real fear of mine. That's how I know that it's something important, and that's why I want to put out this message, because I don't know anyone, I don't know your situation, but if you have a situation like mine where unfortunately you haven't had a great childhood and you don't have a close family and this and that. Listen, we are grown-ups now, okay? We have all the time in the world. We have the future ahead of us to learn and to grow up. But our parents don't. Our parents have done their, they have made their decisions. They have made their own mistakes, and they're getting older. As bad as it sounds, they're getting older, okay? And the best thing that we can do now, as personally, again, me as an only child, as their only daughter, the best thing I can do right now, I can't change their situation, their actual situation right now, because my parents situation is not the best, but again, that's out of the point. I can't change that. I can't put that pressure on myself, which I used to do. I used to want to, and I still do, but again, not as bad anymore. But I used to want to change their situation. Like it was on me, like I was at some point of my life, I became the parent of my parents, and I always felt like I had to take care of them. And because of this, that's what I always felt like I needed to do something to change their situation. But now that I'm older, I have understood that it's not on me. They're grown ups. They have to make their own decisions too. They have to change their own situation. It's not on me. I love them like from the bottom of my heart, but it's not on me to change what they've done and what they're still doing nowadays. It's on me to take care of my life, to take care of my reality, and that's it. Because now I'm a grown up. I am my own mom. I am my own, like I am my own, like I am my only thing. Okay. I don't rely on anybody. I don't rely on my parents. I only have myself. So I need to take care of myself, my body, my reality, my home, everything. Anything that has to do with my life. I only have to focus on myself. But when it comes to my parents, the best thing that I can do is give them support and show them love. Okay? Because this is what I wanted to say before. I fear that comes a day where they're not okay. I fear that maybe tomorrow one of them is in hospital and I haven't been there for them enough, and I haven't been there enough and I haven't showed them enough love, that I don't want them to like pass away and think that I don't want them to think that I don't love them. Okay? Because I'm their only daughter. They don't have more children. They only have me. But I don't want them to think that their only daughter doesn't care about them. I do care about them, and I care about them too much. That's the issue. And because I care too much, I took a step back. I decided to put myself first, because the more I involve myself in their situation, the more it affects me. And it has always been like that. But because I fear this, I do want them. I don't ever call them. And I was thinking yesterday why, there's like this voice in the back of my head telling me, you have to call them, Sissy. You haven't called them in a long time. You haven't sent them a message, because I don't even message them, You might say, come on, Tiz, that doesn't take long. Like, it takes a second to say, hey, I'm okay. But I don't like doing that. I hate messaging. Let me say that straight. I don't like messaging anybody. My friends know that I don't like messaging. I'm not the one to message, okay? And I always get into trouble because of this. Because every time I'm trying to like date a guy, they always expect me to like message them every day. And I'm like, look, if you want to like know about me and talk to me, let's call. Or if not, let's meet up. But I'm not here to message anybody. So back to my point. I don't message my parents. And I was thinking yesterday, I need to call them. I want to know how they are. And I know that sometimes the reason why I don't call them is because I don't want to face again, over and over again, the reality that they are not okay. Like, I really wish I could call them one day and they could give me good news, but it's never like that. And I think the reason why I don't call them, it's also because I just hate having to keep hearing how bad they are, and me not being able to do anything for them. And again, because I know they're not okay, and because I cannot do anything, there's this like mental battle inside of my head. It makes me lose like clarity. So in a way, that's why I avoid calling them. But I was thinking last night, like I said, like I've said 1,000 times already in this episode, I do want them to know that I care about them. I do want them to know that I love them. And this is my point. This is why I want to talk about this today. And it's tell your loved ones how much do you love them and how much you care about them, and show them, okay? Because we don't know what's going to happen in the future, okay? The future is unknown. There's no certainty in the future. We only know today, and we only have today. And because of that, there's one thing that I know and that I live by and that I will always stand for, and that is, no matter what I do, I want everybody, right? Everybody that has the pleasure to meet me, that has ever had the chance to meet me. Well, I lost track of what I was saying, you see? I want everybody that meets me or has the chance to meet me or come across into my life, even if it's just for one day, 1 second, whatever it is. I know I want to do good to everybody. I know that I want to put my best self out there for everybody and give my best to everybody. So where am I going with all this? The best thing that I can do, it's show my love. show my love to everybody. This is a reminder for myself. I need to check on my friends more and on my parents. Just a hey, how are you? Because we don't know. That's what I would say. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I have a friend that recently he lost his dad, and his dad was healthy, and somehow he had a stroke. Like nobody knows. Nobody knows exactly what happened, and he just passed away. And stuff like that makes you think like life is unpredictable, and we can take health and life for granted. So tell your loved one that you love them, okay? Tell your friends how you feel about them. Tell your parents how you feel about them too. Communicate yourself, communicate your feelings, communicate your emotions, and articulate those feelings to them. I have this friend that he makes me feel very good, and he makes me feel safe, and he makes me feel heard. And he's one of my best friends because of that, because I just feel safe and I feel good when I'm with him. I love our friendship. I would much rather be the annoying friend that's constantly telling everybody, I love you. Thanks for being my life. Thank you for making me feel this way. Thank you for making my life a bit better. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for supporting me. I would much rather be that annoying friend that's constantly saying thank you, or saying that I love them, that I love you, than being the one that never says it. Okay? Because you might say, yes, I know, my friends love me. But hearing it from time to time does help. Okay? It does help, and it does help a lot. It's like a little grain of sugar, where am I trying to go with all this? It's a very small thing, but it can have a big impact. Telling your friends that you love them, telling your friends how they make you feel, why you love them so much, telling your best friend, like my best friend that I had for like 10 years now. The reason why she's my best friend is because not only she's exactly like me, but she always supports me. She never makes me feel like I'm not worthy. She never makes me feel like I'm less. She never makes me feel like I'm crazy. She always supports me. She always listens to me. And she's always there for me. I can always lean on her. I do think I vocalize and externalize my thoughts and the way I feel towards other people enough. I was thinking last night, I think I don't. And I want to start doing it more. So this is also a message for you, a reminder for you that I want you to know this. I want you to do the same thing. Tell your loved ones and your close ones, your family and your friends, the people that are worth having in your life. Okay, tell them how you feel about them. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them why they're good in your life. Why you are so happy that they're a part of your life. Tell them. Try to find the words, but tell them. Remind them how you feel about them, because we really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And it's better that today we tell them how we feel about them, that then we have the regret that we never did, enough. Not that we never did. It's that we never did enough, because that is what's constantly haunting me, that I never did it enough. It's more like a reminder for you and for me to vocalize how you feel about people. Tell them, when I'm with you, I feel alive. When I'm with you, I feel heard. When I'm with you, I feel safe. And let me tell you, there's nothing more beautiful and fulfilling in this life than having good people in your life. Okay? I know it's very easy to, lose track of, lose clarity and think, oh, I want a big car and I want this life and this lifestyle and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, the best things in life are the small ones. The best things in life is having good people around you. It's having maybe 5 friends. They always say that your real friends are the ones that you can count with the fingers in your hand, and that's true. The best things in life are those small things, and having really good people around you that, like I said previously in a different episode, they are worth having in your life, and they make you feel like life is worth living. And thanks to them, they made your life a bit brighter. They make your days a bit easier. They make your days a bit happier. So tell your loved one how you feel about them, okay? Remind them. And be the annoying friend that's constantly telling everybody how much you love them. Then the boring one that never tells anybody anything. I know we all have different love languages. I know mine definitely is words of affirmation, and another one, but I can't remember now. But it just feels good, It feels good when someone compliments you. Those little things, such a small little thing, like I said before, it can have such a big impact. So do it. Tell your loved ones how you feel about them. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. And I would much rather die knowing that I did my best and I gave everybody that I met my best, and that I told them how I felt about them, them not doing it. Because it feels good. It feels good to tell people how much you love them. And it feels good when you do good. When you're a good human and you go around doing good to people, it feels good. And I want to think that by doing little things like that, I can have some sort of impact in this world. And I want to think that by doing little things like that, the world can be a little bit brighter. I'm not saying I can change the world on my own. I'm not saying that the world's going to be a better place because of the things that I'm doing. But I do want to think that because I'm doing little things like this, I can put my little grain of sugar into it. And like I said, make the world a little bit brighter. So tell your loved ones you love them, okay? Be the annoying friend that tells everybody that you love them. Scold your friends, scold your parents.